Hi guys, this is Tablet-News.com and I'm here with the ASUS Padfone 2. This is the handset part of the hybrid, and we also have here the tablet part of the hybrid with its back tray where the handset goes. You've already seen our unboxing and you probably know already that there are some brakes here that will stop the device from accidentally getting out. So let's get to it and let's analyze this device, see what it brings us. So the ASUS Padfone 2, it goes for a price of about 800 euros, and it comes only in the combo of tablet plus phone. There is no keyboard here. We already reviewed and tested the first Padfone for you. We previewed it, we reviewed it in detail, and now it's time for the second combo. This combo was announced in October and we were present in Milan where the announcement event took place for some hands-on action with the device. So the design is pretty much the same thing as the Padfone 1, although bigger and a bit sharper edges if you ask me. Also, the device is available in black or white, so we have the white version of the tablet and also the white version of the phone available here for review. The device comes in 32GB and 64GB storage versions. It has a micro SIM card slot up here. You will use a special triangular sharp tool bundled with the device to remove it. You insert it here, the tray comes out, you insert the micro SIM, and that's it. There's also an audio jack here at the top. The thickness is 9mm for the handset and 135 grams in weight. As far as the new Padfone station goes, this one weighs 514 grams, and together the phone plus the tablet are lighter than the iPad 3, which is actually a cool thing. Once again, about that rubber brake mechanism, so here we go. I'm going to zoom in and show you what I mean. These are the brakes that will keep the phone into place when you insert it, and this is the connection area with those pins that connect to the phone's socket. And also when you insert the phone, it will vibrate to let you know that it is fully connected. There is a metallic edge around the device, as you can see, a thing that gives the device less fragility and more elegance. What can I say? Let's have a look at the general design. So at the back we got a speaker here that's actually pretty strong, the 13MP camera and LED flash. At the top you already saw the audio jack and micro SIM card slot. At the front we have the sensors and the front camera, the earpiece, and also these capacitive buttons that are shown through a very bright light through the case. Actually, it may give a little bit of feeling of cheap, only a bit, the way they are shown through this white plastic. At the bottom we have that new proprietary port that I mentioned. It's the MHL 13-pin brand new socket from ASUS, and on the sides obviously the on-off button and the volume buttons. That's about it when it comes to the design. The screen is a 4.7-inch one. The tablet has a 10-inch display, and I have to say that the back cover is theoretically non-removable, but practically you can remove it and you'll see that the battery has a seal saying do not remove, so it's semi-removable if you want. My impression is that the phone feels a bit rough to the user's hand since its corners are pretty sharp, so it may feel rough in your hands used to the round shape of the Galaxy S3, or you may like this rectangular shape and metallic edges. It's all a matter of personal preferences. Now let's check out the tablet and see what it brings when it comes to the design. So we got a very big speaker right here, also pretty powerful one, volume buttons here, the on-off button right here, connection pins right here. Also we have a front camera right here at the top, and that's about it. Other than that, it's lighter, thinner and more beautiful than the first Pad station. Overall design is superior to the Padfone 1 if you ask me. That's my general impression, so ASUS has one-upped the design of the first Padfone. As far as hardware goes, we got this brilliant 4.7-inch screen with great brightness. This is a Super IPS Plus LCD, 4.7 inches. It's got a resolution of 720/1280, so it's a 720p resolution. The protection of the screen is Corning Fit Glass, and also the tablet has the same protection system. You should also know that the tablet's display is a 10-inch IPS screen. Resolution is 1280/800 pixels. And now let's talk about the battery for a bit. The tablet's battery is a 5000 mAh unit. while the phone's battery is a lithium polymer 2140 milliamp per hour, and that one is superior to the first Padfone's battery. The Padfone 1 had the big weakness, its battery, the phone's battery, but this one has a much superior battery. Now let's talk a bit about the memory, in case you're wondering. This handset offers 2 GB of RAM and also, as I said, 32 GB of storage or 64 GB of storage. It also has HSDPA, 42 Mbps connectivity, LTE, Wi-Fi, dual band Wi-Fi that is, Bluetooth 4.0, NFC, and moving on, 13 megapixel camera at the back with autofocus, LED flash, 1080p capture at 30 frames per second. The secondary camera right here is a 1.2 megapixel camera for video calls, and other specs of this device include things like GLONASS. This is the dialer. GLONASS, then the CPU is the famous Qualcomm Snapdragon S4 quad-core 1.5 GHz CPU. It's a Crite architecture, 21 nanometer process, and the GPU is the Adreno 320 that does a fine job in games. We also have an accelerometer available on this device and a bunch of other stuff that may interest you: gyroscope, compass, proximity sensor, GPS, and it initially runs Android Ice Cream Sandwich, as I'll show you right now. So it runs Android 4.0.4, and Jelly Bean has already started to roll out in some parts of the world. We're waiting for Jelly Bean on our device to arrive soon. Okay, so you also get 50 GB of storage from ASUS in the cloud. So if you're not happy with the 64 here and you miss the fact that you don't have a micro SD card slot, you may resort to the ASUS web storage with its 50 GB extra that's offering you. So this is the web storage. It may replace Dropbox if you want, and that's about it. If you're wondering about battery life, what I can tell you about this device is that it's offering theoretically 352 hours of standby together, phone plus tablet, and about 16 hours of normal use. I find it to be available for use on about 9 to 10 hours of continuous video playback over 3G connection. So if you go on YouTube and play one of those big clips, it will last for 9-10 hours over continuous 3G playback, phone plus tablet together. For us, using it moderately, it lasted for about 2-3 days, and we had a good ball using the tablet plus phone combo. The Padfone 2 is able to charge in about 2 hours, and the tablet plus phone combo will charge in 5 hours together from 0 to 100%. I should also mention that the device has FM radio, among others. So I was mentioning that new port from ASUS. It's available right here, and let me zoom in on it. It's the 13-pin MHL socket for this device. It looks a bit like the micro USB, but it's a bit more than that, and there's also the special pins on the tablet to make it connect better. So ASUS offer us a new port on this device. If you remember, the first Padfone had a combo between micro HDMI and micro USB sockets. If I remember well, they were on the side, and inside it went some pins on the tablet. And if you want extra battery life details and battery details, let me give you some figures. So this handset has a 3.8 volt 2140 mAh battery, while the first Padfone had a 3.7 volt 1520 lithium ion battery. So we jumped around 700 mAh, so it's a great evolution. And also remember, there's a please don't remove label on the battery and no micro SD card slot. I must mention that the loudspeaker here is supposed to be 2 times the size of the one on the Padfone 2, and I use this introduction to show you the audio technology on the device and to skip to the multimedia playback test. We're using Sonic Master technology, a new generation of Sonic Master from ASUS, and ASUS is saying that the speaker is 40% bigger than any other model on the market, and there is no distortion. So let's listen to a song like Lana Del Rey. So let's try a different genre. Let's try this drum and bass. And if you want to hear the tablets too, well, I'm going to introduce in this review the dynamic part. So here we are, we're connected to the tablet, and now we're going to continue the song right here. Very strong speaker. Let's tweak the brightness a bit. Here we are. And now I must also mention one thing. The tablet speaker right here, it's 32% larger than any other tablet on the market. So remember that, 32% larger, and also huge volume, a crisp sound, good bass, good mid notes and good high notes. So an excellent piece of sound. Okay, now let's stop this. I guess I already convinced you that the sound is very good. This is the way to stop the song from the lock screen. So I am hugely impressed by the audio capacity of this device, by the Sonic Master technology, and by the fact that ASUS actually enlarged everything. They enlarged the speaker on the phone, the speaker on the tablet, they eliminated any kind of distortion, the bass is excellent, the loudspeaker is bigger and louder and crisper, and we even have a nice piece of software to play with for the audio part that I'm going to show you right now. So let's remove the phone. And let's start the song one more time and play with a setting and an app. So listen to some Limp Bizkit. So there's an app called Audio Wizard. Here it is. It's offered by ASUS. There's a music mode, there's a movie mode, gaming mode, speech mode, and recording mode. You can hear the changes. This is the speech mode, recording, movie, with a lot of echo, and music with more amplitude, and off. So each of these modes enhances one activity of the tablet, of the handset and the tablet. One handles the movie with more amplitude, more echo. One handles the song with better bass and stuff like that. One handles recording. And this Audio Wizard is made by ASUS and a company called Waves. It's an audio DSP company. Some people say it's the equivalent of Beats Audio, but only a smaller brand than Beats. And since you just saw the Audio Wizard, I'm curious if any other companies will implement it aside from ASUS. It adds a bit of warmth to the handset and the tablet sound. Now it's time to move over to the video section. I'm going to enter the gallery and play back a trailer for you. The trailer is for one of the movies of 2013, one of the most awaited movies. I'm going to start over the playback and I'm going to show you some dynamic action, meaning I'm going to start playback on the phone and continue on the tablet. So this is a 4.7 inch display, 720p, 500 nits, super IPS plus LCD screen, very bright. I am about 1/5 of the brightness that I can go up to. Great outdoor use. There is a special mode for outdoor use actually, and viewing angles are simply great. And now it's time for that dynamic thing. So we're on the phone watching a movie and we do this.
Some people call me a terrorist. I consider myself a teacher. Lesson number 1. Heroes. There is no such thing.
Okay, so you get the idea. You just saw that dynamic thing where I start to watch a movie on the phone and move to the tablet. The quality is great. The sound, once again, the sound is very crisp on the tablet. It's probably the best sound I've heard on a tablet, although ASUS praised the Vivo Tab Windows RT model more than this model when it came to sound, for some reason. So, great sunlight behavior, great viewing angles, and this is a 10-inch IPS screen that's also great with a dynamic mode. And since I mentioned that outdoor mode, I'm also going to show it to you. So if you don't believe me, you'll actually believe me. So if I press this, I activated the outdoor mode, and as you can see, everything is crisper, brighter and shinier. I'm going to deactivate now, since it may ruin the review and actually be too bright for our own good, for our reviewing good. Okay, time to test the camera. Everyone wonders what a 13 megapixel camera can do. Well, let me show you. I remember that the Padfone 1 camera, the 8 megapixel one, was actually a pleasant surprise. I had no expectations from it, but it surprised me eventually. Now it's time to check out the 13 megapixel camera. First thing to notice, they changed the interface. The older one wasn't that bad. So let's focus on this castle. Take a picture. And this is the picture of the castle. Obviously you can zoom in huge amounts. See, this is a 13 megapixel camera and shots. A lot of details. And this is the original castle. And this is the picture I've taken. Sometimes the shots are blurry, so you actually have to pay attention to the way you zoom in, but I find the camera to be truly good when you can actually take advantage of it. Let's see the options. So we have a normal mode, panorama, beautification, HDR, some scene modes, portrait, landscape, night, snow, sunset, party, backlight, some camera effects, a lot of effects, stuff like vintage, nostalgia, low-mo, negative, or none. And then there's the resolution. You can go widescreen, and that automatically drops you from 13 megapixels to 10 megapixels. You can also select 8 megapixels, 5 or 3 megapixels. You can mess with the exposure, with the white balance. You should also know that the ISO can go from 50 to 800. We have a lot of filters, panorama. We have a shutter mode, self-timer, burst, zero shutter lag, screen brightness, focus mode, so a lot of options. So let's take a burst shot just for kicks. Very fast burst mode. And I just taken a lot of pictures, I don't know, maybe 15 or stuff like that. You can select which ones to save, which ones you want to keep. So I can only save 3, and it will delete the rest of the files. And let's see what else I can show you. In order to access the video mode, it took me a while to find it out actually. You press this button, and here you have the video mode with a couple of city faces to play with. And here you have video effects, and here you have one of the most interesting things on this device. So you can do 1080p filming if you want, or you can do 720p filming in 60 frames per second and 480p filming at 90 frames per second. You also have, as I said, some filters. You can take pictures and videos at the same time without problem. We have burst shot, and this camera somehow reminds me of the one on the HTC One X. I don't know why, but it does, and that's a compliment, believe me. And now I'm going to go to the gallery and show you some shots I've taken using the camera, some winter shots. So here we are. Keep in mind that it was sunset on a December day, so that should count for something. So sunset on a December, this is a panorama, pretty good one actually. I'm obviously going to show you a video as well. Oh, here's a video. The most videos were captured with 720p and 60 frames per second. They look stunning, but you better see them on the computer since the screen also adds to the experience. Okay, let's see some more pics. Maybe we find a more fascinating one, like this one of a fir tree. I have also played with some effects. So here we are, zooming in on the picture. Beautiful colors, great exposure, and once again it was sunset, so the 13 megapixel camera is exactly according to our expectations. It's not surprising, I have to say that I was expecting a lot from the camera, and I got that lot that I was expecting. So a great 13 megapixel camera. It's got a Sony BSI sensor, 5-element lens, and an f2.4 aperture. It also has a beautification option that you can use. So that's it about the multimedia side of the device. Okay, now it's time for the good old benchmarks on this handset. and for that I'm going to go to the gallery yet again and show you the captures for the benchmarks. You probably expect them to be great. It's a quad-core Qualcomm Snapdragon S4 Pro CPU, and there's all the reason to expect them to be great since they actually are. Okay, so we're here in Quadrant, but first things, let me remind you who I'm comparing this device to. I'm comparing the Padfone 2 to the Padfone 1, the Galaxy Note 2, and the LG Optimus G, some of the most powerful devices on the market. So in Quadrant we scored, as you can see, 7,655 points. We surpassed the Padfone 1 that scored 5,300, and we surpassed the Galaxy Note 2 that scored 6,000, and we even surpassed the LG Optimus G that has the same CPU as this Padfone 2 and only scored 7,600, so we scored only 55 more. We're going to go to Antutu now. So this is the Antutu score, the initial score, and then we ran it again, and this is the crazy score we got. So 21,390. Of course, we surpassed the Padfone 1 a lot, that scored 6,000, Galaxy Note 2 scored 13,000, and LG Optimus G 11,000. So it's a huge score. I guess we're among the first on Antutu in the score lines. Let me go to Velamo. In Velamo we scored 1,992 in the HTML5 test, while the Padfone 1 scored 1,800, and the Galaxy Note 2 1,845, and the LG Optimus G 1,700. Moving on to the GPU test, in Nenamark 2 we scored a decent amount of frames per second. It may have been decreased a bit by our screen resolution. It's 58.6 frames per second compared to the 60 frames of the Padfone 1 that had an inferior resolution, and the 58 frames per second of the Galaxy Note 2. So overall I'm very happy with the performance of the device, and let's see if there's any other thing that we missed. If you want to know the browser mark score, we scored 1,785. There is also a comparison here. The iPhone 5 scores 2,400. So when it comes to browsing, it's not that snappy, but also not that bad either. Okay guys, time to show you the web browser. And this is the virtual keyboard, in case you were wondering. I'm going to go to Tablet-News.com. Okay, so let's continue typing. Trying to find that symbol thingy. Here we are. I find it strange that it didn't remind me that I already browsed the site. Here we are, Tablet-News.com, loaded fast. Pinch to zoom is obviously not a problem, either in portrait or landscape mode. This is the way to view the site. Once again, very crisp, very bright display. The fonts are shown perfectly, and I want to show you the web browsing experience on the tablet as well, since we are Tablet News. Here we go. We're in the browser, inserting the phone, and guess what? Tablet-News.com on tablet as well. And the experience is very fluid. I expected a bit of lag from just moving on from the phone to the tablet, but absolutely no problem with that. So what can I say? I guess it's time to continue messing about with the software and showing you what the Android experience of the device is. So as you can see at the top, we have a couple of toggles and sliders for Wi-Fi, mobile data, smart saving, instant dictionary, Wi-Fi hotspot, Bluetooth, GPS vibrate, and auto rotate of the screen. There's also a pad-only tab in the app area. So this is where you can store your tablet-only applications. So for example, if you want to move the Angry Birds to tablet-only, let's keep it pressed, and you can add to the pad-only tag, and here you have an app that will only run on the tablet, and you remember it by that name. There is also an interesting area in the settings section. Also, you should notice something. We have 3 interesting shortcuts right here. Those ones for the Wi-Fi, this one straight to the audio wizard, and finally the main settings right here. And speaking of main settings, there is also an extra piece of settings from ASUS, the ASUS customized settings for brightness level, outdoor mode, the fact that you can press the multitasking key to take a screenshot, screensaver, and there's even an ultimate mode for ultra high performance in order to squeeze the best out of the CPU. Okay, now as far as apps are concerned on this device, there's a bunch of apps that ASUS pre-installs for you. There's a file manager, there's app backup, app locker. You already saw our other reviews, so you know what they do. There's ASUS Studio that I find to be quite nice. It's a way to store your photos. It shows me my gallery, photos, videos. It shows me the time when they were taken, the location where they were taken on the map, and it can organize them in albums if you want. So it's a pretty cute app, that ASUS Studio. There's also the Polaris Office package. Let's see, there's also the power saver that will trigger the smart saving and allow you to customize your use of the device if you want more battery life or more power performance. Let's see what else. There's also my library app if you're into e-reading and stuff like that on the tablet or on the phone. And obviously we got a full Google suite. So obviously we have a dialer, call logs, contact list, and we have Gmail. Here's Gmail. And we have Google Maps. We show them each time to you since they're updated constantly, and who knows what other feature can appear. Here we are on Google Maps. Waiting for it to turn. So here we are again. Zooming in, details, various layers. And just for kicks, I'm going to insert this in the tablet yet again and see if we end up in Google Maps. From what I know, you can set up certain apps to be triggered when you put the phone in the tablet, and some of them are not preset like that, so they're not prepared to instantly run. You have to make that setup. Okay, so what other apps we have here? We have Supernote that will take care of the note taking and wannabe office-like experience. It starts with a tutorial, obviously. We also have that web storage I've shown you, Zinio for e-reading, and this is the new notebook you can create. And this is the big keyboard. Actually, I didn't get to show this to you. This is the tablet keyboard on the device, and this is where you start typing your notes. You can either end up drawing stuff. You can transform, erase, select, insert a picture, PDF, audio recording, video, and create multimedia notes in the end. And now I also want to show you a specific area of the interface, the widgets. As usual, customized by ASUS, unique to them. Here they all are. And let's see, let's try something interesting in Supernote. From what I understood, it's able to recognize handwriting. Let me give you a try at that. So handwriting, not sure if it actually understood what I meant. Anyway, from what I heard, it does pretty good handwriting recognition, and you can also do some photo editing in the pics section. So I'm going to stick to the tablet mode for now. Let me just go to the gallery. Here we are, gallery, and you can edit pics straight from the menu. So if I enter this pic and select some options like edit, and here are the options that I can play with. I have full light, highlights, shadows, autofix, some effects like film grain or fisheye I can play with. Also some other effects like warmth, and finally crop, red eye, face glow. So the basic options that most photo viewers offer on this device. There is another interesting feature I want to show you, one that I stumbled upon. I didn't pay much attention to it, and it was actually pretty cool. So you probably noticed that up here among the toggles and sliders there is an instant dictionary. If you wonder what that does, well, check this out. So we activated it, okay, and let's see how we can make it appear on the screen. So we have instant dictionary. Let's tap next, next. Okay, so you see this little bubble appearing here or here. You can move it anywhere you want. You press it and you activate it. Now it's activated. When it's blue, you select a piece of text and it translates it to us, it searches it to us on the web, and it's pretty cool. It translates straight from the browser, from an app with text. So once again, a very useful feature if you want to have the entire browser or other apps translated to you. Let's see what other apps we missed, and we'd like to show you. There's a thing called My Bitcast that allows you to take a journal of everything you do, take text, writing, audio and video recording, and make a multimedia journal. So I guess that's pretty much it when it comes to this phone and tablet combo. I don't think we missed anything. I think we showed the full Google experience, and I frankly say I cannot wait to receive Jelly Bean on this baby and see what it can do in the benchmarks. I guess it's time now to once again play with that dynamic thingy and give you the pros and cons for buying the Padfone 2. Okay, so the ASUS Padfone 2 pros, obviously the screen, brightest screen ever, very good outdoor mode, and a couple of nice settings to play with the screen. This is the outdoor mode with crazy good brightness, and the camera is fantastic. 30 megapixel camera, I was expecting it to be good, and it actually was good. The battery is also great, 16 hours of use, or about 2-3 days for the normal user. It charges up in 5 hours, the tablet plus phone combo. Very good performance. Also shown by benchmarks, also shown by game. We have a couple of games here we reviewed already for you. The dynamic mode is great. You saw that when I was watching the Iron Man trailer. I started it on the phone and put the phone in the tablet, and it only took, what, 1 second, maybe 2 to start it, which was much better than the Padfone 1. Also, there is a lot of apps to play with. We have that photo customization, the app backup, the web storage, the calendar, Maps is obviously here, the whole package, Polaris Office, Power Saver, that translation thing I liked so much. Now let's see YouTube on the tablet, just for kicks. So those are all pro aspects. Of course, there is a huge audio quality, best audio on tablet ever in 2012. And now the cons of the device, well, maybe the lack of a micro SD card slot, the battery that's semi non-removable, there's no keyboard dock bundle with the device, that's a minus. The phone feels a bit sharp-edged for my hand. And finally, the capacitive buttons may seem a bit cheap through this white plastic. I have to say I prefer the black version. So overall, we give it a 9 out of 10 for design, 9.5 out of 10 for hardware, and 9.5 out of 10 for operating system and user interface with everything that is included here. A total is 9.33, and we thank ASUS for providing this great Padfone 2 device for testing. It's a must-have device if you're willing to spend 800 euros on it. That's it from Tablet News. Bye bye.